going into this matchup. Great top laner, but as we spoke about a little bit earlier, doesn't often run the mix between bruiser and tank. Wiser lives. Wiser
Yep,
is
okay, root
caught.
hits.
Okay. Take an early level 1, perhaps suboptimal skill for Jin. Trade it for a flash. I don't know.
Worth it. They'll take
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it's
They'll
fine.
take it because remember. Oh, okay. Okay, flash. Two flashes actually.
That's big.
This is so good for Fluxo. Okay, point one is remember what lane Fluxo are going to be focusing this entire early stages. It's that top lane. No flash on Wiser. It makes it even more difficult for him to evade a gank that's going to happen on that top side, right? You can't dodge a cocoon, can't buy space from the Ruthless Predator. And then also the flash from B-Boy as well means that he can't flash forward to try and finish off Brunsey or Jojo. If they do get a good gank down on that bot side, this is really good for Fluxu's early game. Those first 5 minutes where we've seen Karaoke be so proactive, it can still happen, don't get me wrong, but it's going to be a little harder to find that finishing blow.
That aggression is going to be tempered, and it is going to be aggression. Dark Harvest on Karaoke's Gragas is
Yeah,
so
sir.
much fun.
This is absolute balls to the wall style Gragas, where you are going in, you are saying, I'm AP Xin Zhao here. This is a one-way trip. If I blow you up, I blow you up. Great. If not, I can press on you. I can buy a bit of time. I'm gonna die afterwards.
Not built to last, shall we say. For Pain
Built
Gaming,
to kill.
I don't think it's the wrong move. It does remove a little bit of their frontline options, but I'll have to hold that point since we've got a fight in the mid lane. Dinketo and House going at it in the early game, and House doing a great job of sidestepping all these threaded volleys. It's like a third one that I've seen just whiff on him.
A common misconception that Silas has a quote weak laning phase. If you're able to use these gap closes to get on top of your enemy, you really have a good time. Heal burned bot.
Damage still has flash. There we go.
Okay. So Elise already making their mark. Disarmus burns double summoner spells from Pain's damage. It's worth noting that Bevoy also has heal, so they've got a spare one locked in the chamber if they
Nice.
need it. And Dinkedo now not in trouble. He's spotted on a ward here, so we should you can see the harbor here from Karaoke, and maybe a 2v2.
Dinketo gets CC'd. Nice stun on the Gragas, but no finish on Talia. Instead, Desamis left in a 1v2. Should be able to clean this up. Has to repel over the wall to finish the kill on Karaoke, leaving Dinketo safe. Safe for now. Ward on this side as well. She will spot Desamis coming, so he should be fine.
So many small features of that 2 versus 2. I hope we get a replay so we can fully break that down. But it's going to be the invade onto the topside jungle from Disarmus, which is the advantage garnered for Fluxo for that. That red buff is going to be at least started up. Karaoke is going to be here in time, and with Wiser not moving, it turns out, we could well see just a bit of a smite fight here.
Yep, available for both.
Oh, no.
Desamis
Oh, Karaoke gets
does
it.
not get it. Wow. All right. Well
The
done.
red buff reset. The patience bar ran out like the second that Disarmus went for the Q smite combo. Of course, Elise's Q does execute damage, so the lower health the target, the lower percentage health the target rather, the more damage that your Q does. But then when the red buff regens, your calculations all go off and you start to lose out on those smite fights, and Karaoke can just get the smite flat or hop over a wall, find himself in incredible amounts of safety.
B-Boy still doesn't have flash, so I'm surprised that he's feeling that comfortable stepping up. This is unfortunate for Dinketo. Has to flash over the wall. Karaoke re-engaging. Threaded volley can come through. And out comes the red carpet. Dinketo just making sure that there's nothing more to that fight. But Desamis is a menace right now.
Yeah, early game Elise. This is what you're supposed to do. I'm so glad that none of his topside camps have been cleared. He's just making a nuisance of himself, right? Heading to these lanes, burning flashes, burning summoner spells. Not quite garnering kills just yet. Obviously, found the first one onto Dinkedo. But with the wave that House has, he's constantly got Dinkedo in a sticky position, always forcing him to step a little too far forward, and then warranting that gank on from the Elise. Still not found a recall timer just yet. I think that this is, your window to go for it. Looks like I was actually incorrect, and Disarmus, even on a pink ward, thinks I can maybe take this fight.
Smite fight. again. This time Jojo is going to start things off, does get that root, clears out a little bit of the pressure, but gives up Scuttle. While Tay is thinking about going for a dive right now. Weiser doesn't have Mega, doesn't have 6, and survives for now, but this is coming in again. Tay going to be able to walk through, clear out this wave, and force the recall, and likely the teleport from Weiser if he wants to keep this wave.
Yeah, I wonder if Tay could have actually found lethal there with a second dash and then using the flash to get out to safety. Of course, that advantage burned from level 1. I think there is lethal threat there for Tay, but I respect that you don't want to fumble it and then give over an advantage to Weiser in a lane where you really shouldn't have been giving that lead back. So nothing happening actually on that top side. As you mentioned, though, TP burned, but that was likely going to happen on a recall anyway. Both of these top laners having so much fun that they decided they get to rush tier 2 boots.
I mean, it's unfortunate for both of them, and understandable as well. Tay's like, I want to stay on top of Weiser and take less damage, and Weiser's like, I want to run away from Tay and take less damage. So everybody wins, and everybody simultaneously somehow loses.
It's the game of top lane chicken where Tay can now have this ego like, I wouldn't have gone played his steel caps if he didn't go played his steel caps. I would have gone for my gore drinker build path if he'd have gone for his. But no, I had to match the steel caps, and you can have that sense of superiority just because you've not gone for the cowardly build path.
That's really why he forced the recall. He was like, I want to see whether I need to build this or not. It had nothing to do with the economic state of the game. He did just teleport right after. Now, Fluxo, all mind games and plated steel caps aside, have found their way to an advantage state around this dragon. The pushing bot lane from Bronze and Jojo has turned into what looks like the first uncontested Ocean Dragon of the game at the 7-minute mark. A nice advantage for them to get stacking, though it's not going to impact their lanes too much right now.
And I want us to keep our eyes on these junglers, because bot lane, all told, has been fairly remiss. We've got Vamp Scepter for B-Boy, which is added safety if you take any damage, and Brunsey, who's taken Swifty Boots early on, which means that you deal no damage, but tend not to take any from the Caitlyn Lux because you just dodge out on all of those skill shots. So our junglers are those ports of call, and they've generally been centralized around this mid lane.
Oh my god, House used his own barrel against Karaoke, forcing Karaoke to take a turret shot. There comes the defensive barrel from the jungler. Gragas not able to survive, but Weiser now flashing in, trying to get the answer onto Desamas, who is still struggling to take down Dinketo. House forced back under tower, and it's ultimately a 1-for-1 and a very extended fight for both sides.
Top lane Prio becomes the difference maker. Pain Gaming managed to equalize in the mid lane because Weiser can roam down. He's going to lose a little bit of experience. He's actually not going to lose a right lot on this top side. I think 2 melee creeps, maybe even just 1. In terms of what he's lost in exchange for getting a kill, he will be more than happy with that as a trade. But it's 2 kills onto your release. The early game jungler that needs to snowball is certainly starting that trend. Started out with the Sorcerer's Shoes. Does not want to farm her camps. Could not be more clear about that with the build path that opened up. Wants to be mobile on the map and get out and make these plays happen. Great stolen away cask from House. He's unlucky that he bops a melee creep into the turret as well, otherwise Karaoke would have got one shot. Desamas flashes over to the other side of the barrel so that he gets knocked really into the midst of the action and can find that kill. It does unfortunately seal his death warrant as well, and a great dash away from House means that it is just a 1-for-1 in the exchange, as Weiser isn't able to get more from his roam.
Finally ticks that 6 as well. Desamas' constant pressure has cost him in the CS and the XP department an expected trade-off for junglers, but still one that would be remiss not to take note of, because it can start stacking up, especially if these aren't turning into more kills for Desamas. Already 2 kills deep, he's got to look for a lot more before I think I'm comfortable saying this Elise is just far and away taken off.
I'll allow it. I will allow it. Of course, took that 1100 gold pit stop, right? So it's a little bit slower to the Mythic in particular, but obviously going to be fairly potent for right now. And honestly, for that fight when you had the tier 2 boots, that was like Desamas on the high point. Unfortunately, it was just a little down on experience, as Karaoke was 6 versus the 5, and now we get to see a bit of a power clear to try and catch back up that lost experience that Karaoke obviously had. And not too much really from the next couple of minutes. We've got a dragon spawning in 2 minutes 30, and there is a herald in Desamas' inventory. Just means that you've got an option to buy priority in a lane. If you want to get some plates onto your top lane, a mid laner, or bot lane, you have absolutely free reign to do so.
Show. Doing his best.
Some bizarre adventures, perchance.
Ow! I can't. I didn't warm up my voice enough. I couldn't do the Michael Jackson, little chow. I don't know what he sounds like. I haven't listened to that guy in forever. Is he even still alive? He's not alive. That was
no, he's not. I knew it. Okay, for those at home, Dia and pop culture just do not go well.
No.
Dia told me a story that he had to ask his mum who Lady Gaga was. That was that's the level of non-pop culture we have to I have to deal with on it.
But now I know that she wore a dress made of flesh
and meat. Not at the same time. That she didn't wear a Scotch egg dress.
Oh wow! Did not see. I learn more about Lady Gaga every day, and that's why we cast League of Legends. Yeah, exactly. It's the Lady Gaga trivia and the fights in the top lane. Tay's already half health, but on the Renekton against a Minionar, I'm not sure how much that means. Karaoke's on the way, but so's the cavalry from Fluxo. Desamas and House do show up, and everybody backs away, hands held high. I didn't do anything.
Yeah. Both these top laners caught trying to have fun. And we all know that top laners aren't supposed to do that. They're supposed to wait in their solo lanes and return to the action when they're called upon. Not allowed to call for their junglers too frequently. So, Karaoke and Dinkedo, they show their faces. They say, "Is there anything to see here, officers?" And both of the top laners just recognize that there's not. Do have to back away. That Reptile's still sitting in Desamus' inventory.
Check out the gold game. This is actually pretty impressive to have 3 people just on top of everyone else. Painter actually cleaning house, and I hadn't looked at the CS numbers too much yet, and honestly, I'm still not reading that much into them. You look at the numbers themselves, and they don't look that crazy, but the kills plus those small CS advantages are adding up to a very small gold lead that could matter a lot if we hit those mythic timings just before objectives, and say Fluxo are unable to.
And the Bloodthirster finished for B-Boy, so that is one of those timings that you'd mentioned. B-Boy actually opting into a critical strike cloak as opposed to, working toward those tier 2 boots. I'm a big fan of Caitlyn's who just skip any attack speed item and just go flat AD, rely on the attack speed from Kraken Slayer, for example, as their source of attack speed. Per legendary item, it starts stacking. That's the mythic passive on Kraken. But obviously B-Boy opting into this Bloodthirster route likely has got overheal as well, so you have just this deceptively high amount of HP to work with due to the overheal shield in combination with Bloodthirster heading toward these neutral objectives. Second one has spawned, and it is that Cloud Dragon. Mid lane prio being pushed for, but neither one of them particularly care.
It's the perfect time to take a fight for Fluxo, as unfortunately Weiser's Mega has just run out, but Desamas has to back away from Karaoke. Eats a barrel right back. Jojo going to find the tether, but a big barrel from Karaoke plus the Zanyas saves it, and instead sends Fluxo into the dirt. B-Boy even flashing forward, looking for the double kill, and maybe even the triple, as Jojo is forced to flash away underneath the tower, and Pain take that skirmish by storm.
Gorgeous fighting from Pain Gaming, 3 for 0. The re-engage from Karaoke. He eats his own barrel and decides to launch one right back. Anything you can do, I can do better. And it pays up trumps. They steal away the dragon. That was Fluxo who started that, who had position in the river. Wanted to take the fight. Mantra Q missing and a great flash from damage is all the bait that Pain needed. Karaoke here, you think as soon as he's whiffed that flash, he's just going to have to walk away. And like I see, House's ult not quite hitting the mark. But Dinkedo's here, a double boop back within the range of the Lux binding. And B-Boy with this Bloodthirster, nobody feels like touching him because he's got 300 HP extra over anybody else. They're never getting through this Caitlyn so early on. I was going to talk about the downsides of Bloodthirster first, but they seem irrelevant when you're finding triple kills like that.
Yeah, I mean, now that you've got so much more gold, you'll be soon on your way to the next item, and that's to say nothing of the dragon that Pain just picked up. It's revealed now that we've got a little play going on the top side. Dinkedo forced to flash away as everybody's got time to pay attention to top now before that next Mountain Drake spawns.
As soon as our top laners leave, we can head up there. That's all good. One of them's out of the picture. Fine, let's go and pay some attention to it. Wise is having a good time down bot side. It's House who's going to be in a bit of trouble. There's a lot of attention being focused down there.
Yeah, this is not looking super good. On the Silas does have some options. Can't steal that Gragas ult anymore, though, and instead teleport's going to be forced as a little bit of poke gets thrown in onto House, and ultimately it's just that cooldown that gets taken away. Much less global pressure for the Fluxo roster now as they've got no teleports available.
Okay, we'll re-engage. Wise gets caught.
House is 1v3. He has to have known that. Everybody was literally right there 30 seconds ago. Nice flash in from Tay. Deletes Wiser. Okay, that was the bait. That was the bait we were looking for last game. And Tay, getting bounced back, is going to pay for it. Down he goes in another extended 1-for-1.
Wow, incredible. I don't quite know how they've managed to come away with this even, but that was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I really, the scary thing is I don't know whether you're talking about the Renekton and Silas play or the Gragas bounce, because both of them, incredible. Karaoke's barrels, by the way, awesome stuff. Rude, love me. I think I've lost you. He has to, yeah, it's fine, it's fine. I'm continuing. We're good. Everything is fine. We have got plenty of comms on the back end. For the moment, it'll be Fluxo hitting the Rift once more. I'd say a little bit behind right now, as they are not just economically, but in terms of the pressure game. They've lost that tower in the bot side, and what they've gained in top for it doesn't really correspond with Dragon being such a focus right now, but we're going for an engage. Nice binding back from damage. Stalls out Tay and chunks him down to 25% HP. No chance in hell they're going to follow that up with anything else. Pain get to retreat real nicely, and now answer back in that bot lane. Clean up a little bit of CS. For the moment, pretty even for Pain. I'm liking what I'm seeing. They did take this game last time that we saw them go up against Fluxo, and Rooted and I were talking a little bit before the game. I think that their default game state, where they've got Karaoke on a tank jungler, is a lot. Thank you. Is a lot simpler to execute. I was just saying the thing that I said about Pain gaming before the game, where I feel like because they have Karaoke and a tank jungler by default, their game plan's a little easier.
Mm-hmm. And then Karaoke goes full AP and decides that you're wrong.
Yeah.
The point stands. I think that the parallels are there, right? Because Karaoke is playing a champion that has agency in the early stages, it doesn't necessarily have to fit this archetype of tank. And I think that this is a great example because they found leads. They have a lead right now off of Karaoke's 100% kill participation.
Mm-hmm. He's very, very active, and being able to disrupt a lot of the game plans of Fluxo. Say, this is the middle of the team fight, might look like it's going well for you. All of a sudden, you're all in 8 different positions. Has really changed the way that team fights are able to play out for Pain. Why is there going to be spotted here? As Fluxo make a play for the top side turret.
I like this from Fluxo. They recognize that they're not in the greatest position, and they're trying to make something proactive happen on a side of the map that they feel like they can establish control over. They know that they can't contest this dragon. Their item's just not quite there yet, and they're going to look for that top side turret instead. TP already down to the bot side from Wiser. This is just to match House and maybe even kill him.
Yeah, plenty back up here. The global pressure of that Talia. A lot of damage from House, though. This could be answered back. That stopwatch coming in real clutch. As Dinketo almost paid for the push with his life, but will with the mid lane tower. As we see Fluxo continuing on forward. The ult from Brunsei zoning out the rest of Pain Gaming as Karaoke comes in and gets another absolutely killer barrel. This guy is built different. It's like he eats, sleeps, and breathes playing Gragas.
Like, that wasn't just, like, really good for disruption. It did a ton of damage. The Dark Harvest stacks are kind of going crazy. We're not used to seeing these big AP Gragas ones where the ult doesn't necessarily matter in its orientation, just so much that it matters that it lands. If you're getting that big DPS out, that's all that we particularly appear to need to see.
That's because we have a lot of beta Gragases in this region.
That's true. or just behind Gragas's. You know?
Yeah, maybe that. Yeah.
I feel like all of them are going for this build. They're just not dealing damage, and Karaoke is like, well, actually, guys, when you build a Dark Seal, you get more AP.
Yeah, he's crushing it right now. Does need to move his way up back to the Zanya, so he's has more survivability. But Jesus, it's like perfectly placed. They're not even that far apart. Like Fluxo are all clumped together, and he separates just the one. It's like a chef with a paring knife, just perfectly.
Finds the wishbone,
and
slaps it. That's what you do with wishbones, right?
I don't know. I'm vegan. I just.
So
a
wishbone is I meant to say snap. It's like the bit in the chicken when you're supposed to be butchering them that you like make a wish on. So you take out the wishbone and then you make a wish because you snap it.
Oh, okay.
Does
it come true? Is it like a shooting star level wish, or is shooting star more powerful?
It's like a Christmas cracker, right?
Yeah.
There are two people that do it. You get a second person to do it, and there are like two sides of the wishbone. Whoever gets the one side. This doesn't make sense, but if you knew what a wishbone was, it'd make a lot more sense to me.
Yeah, it's like a wishbone, but like with a cracker. But
if you knew what I was talking about, dear, my metaphor would make a lot more sense.
I believe it. You know what? I do think that I've come to
There's a winner and a
understanding.
loser.
Yeah, and right now the winner is absolutely Karaoke, who is coming out the better in these, I guess, snaps of bones that were definitely being heard across the rift. Now, Pain do have the push in mid lane as well, and it's as we approach a critical juncture in any League of Legends game. Baron has spawned. We are past the 20-minute mark, and Pain are in charge with 3 minutes left on the Dragon. What did the next couple minutes look like for Pain? Where are they pressuring, and where do they set up in about a minute?
Now, I'm an ADC player, so I can tell you what it looks like for B-Boy, and it looks like he's going to be playing mid lane ping pong until his team decides to do something. It looks like Fluxo, though. They were the ones looking to make plays. I like this, though. Play through mid, play through a side lane. They've got a really winning side lane, and they've got two people from Fluxo who are just dead. It's a matter of time before they die.
It's Karaoke, run! It's all of Pain! Run for your life! No hope for Jojo. Taken down.
Doesn't live.
No, he's wow. He cancels that recall too.
He's stealing this Baron.
Oh, anyway. He knows. Yeah, he knows that the Baron is the play. Fluxo, they are wise to this. I don't think you can fight it, but I mean, go.
Yeah, they're not going to play for a fight here. They're going to try and play for a steal. This almost, oh my word, that was so rapid. They've got them off the Baron. That's a win. But as soon as he dies, they're just going to turn straight back.
Yeah, Samus repelling for a little bit of time, gets caught by that stun on the way out and slammed into the ground. The rest of the roster, Fluxo, have taken a moment, positioned themselves around this Baron, and seem to have actually warded it off pretty well.
No Baron. They get a lot of gold. They found 2 kills. They're going to go spend it. Respect.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're under no real time constraints either. They have, like, really good team fight later on. Caitlyn as a hyper carry does exist. You have the most damage in the game as an AD carry until you talk about level 18 Tristanas, who aren't relevant because they're not in the game. So you're going to have a whale of a time if you get to, I mean, even this 2.5 item spike. You're ahead of Brunsey, right? And as a Caitlyn, you just deal more damage than Jhin with your autos. So you're having a good time regardless. If we go through the early stages, mid stages, wherever we are in the game, they can set up around this Baron, have a nice time of things. And they don't have to push themselves too fast.
No, I'm liking what I see out of Pain. The restraint, well, I would say exercising the full force of their abilities as they are right now. When they smell weakness, Pain are all over you, and Samus experiences that in pure HD perfection. Pain Gaming are going to have to take the 4v5 now. No steal available, so Fluxo are looking for a way to shut this Baron down, and unfortunately just don't have a way in. Now that we're at the 24-minute mark, now that Baron has gone down, Pain are really hitting their stride, and I expect to see, maybe not the base broken, but all those outer towers gone.
History's coming true again, dear. Pain Gaming were the one team, well, not the one team, but we're one of the teams to take them down in the first round robin. Weiser, he's winning. We're chill. And they're looking to repeat history here. Like you can see, Fluxo with 4 losses, looking like second of those are going to be at the hands of Pain Gaming once again. First round robin went this way, and Pain showing us why the CBLOL is just so tight, right? I think that coming into this, Pain Gaming obviously, fairly 50-50 on their scorelines. They're like 5th at the minute. We're tied for a sort of a 3-way tie coming into the day, but everybody can beat everybody in this league, and there is no hierarchy. It's just who delivers on the day, and today it's been Pain Gaming.
Yeah, I think it's interesting from a standings perspective to consider that Fluxo are the best team in CBLOL coming out of the first round robin. And while there are plenty of reasons why that exists, while Pain are able to consistently, over the course of 2 games, take them down, it says a lot about how people are playing, how teams are adapting in CBLOL to do their best in each individual matchup. Pain Gaming may not have the best read on everyone, but when it comes to the top teams, when it comes to those players and individuals that are able to play the macro game really well, Pain are ready to step to it, and they've actually performed that task really well in this particular game to now put Fluxo in a losing position and looking for a fight as well. Flash from Jojo.
Weaverswalk tries to cut off Pain Gaming here, but you can see Brunsey opens up with the curtain call, fires one shot before Karaoke takes literally a step closer to him and says, "Don't make me ult you. It will kill you." Like, I am Dark Harvest Scraggus and you were half HP.
Does not look good for any squishy approaching Karaoke, and unfortunately, that's basically the entire Fluxo roster. Even Tay right now, with the Black Cleaver, still not going to be able to withstand that much. Only got armor, plenty of AP on the side of Pain Gaming. They disengage, having broken the base in both the mid and the bot lane. Plenty of advantage picked up for Pain.
Yeah, and Karaoke doesn't even need his ult. Just tosses it into the wind as they get the inhibitor. Celebratory Cask gets yoked out into the abyss. Fluxo, though, in a absolutely dire position, not really able to capitalize on their early game, unfortunately. Karaoke, I think, just absolutely dominating throughout the duration of this game, was everywhere that Disarmus was, and made the Elise's life nigh on impossible to play out. You can see 2 and 5 on that scoreline is not particularly where you'd want to be as an Elise, unfortunately, and you have to go full damage. There is no tank Elise build. It just simply is not worthwhile, so you're just this glass cannon who's supposed to buy space, and Brunsey's going to need a flash and gets to use it. But again, summoner spells being burned for illegal positioning on the wave, honestly. Can't be stepping up like that if you don't see members of the map.
Yeah, nothing Broadside could do after he found himself in that position either, so it is a free cooldown. Weiser's going to go Mega, so there's no pick here. And Fluxo back away once again, knowing that they've lost their top tier 2 tower now. Just losing in each of these individual trades that they are trying to take. They're consciously making efforts to put themselves on the map, to find a little bit of pressure in mid lane, to go for a pick onto Weiser, and Pain are just full court pressing them every single time.
House has stolen away this Mega Knot ulti. If there's a way for them to win a fight, it's off of a incredible engage, right? Wise is now mini Gnar, so there's a world where they can find, where Fluxo can find a fight with a squishy top laner as opposed to the big tank that Weiser is definitely looking to be. He's bought this Hull Breaker, and you can see Dinkedo jockeying the line of that Hull Breaker quite tightly, just trying to give the buff as best as possible. But with B-Boy, he can get 3 autos down on that turret without needing a minion wave, just because of the Bloodthirst, the overheal, the Lux shield as well. There's so much going in favor of Pain Gaming. They don't even need the Baron to take these turrets, as 1 minute 20 on its respawn. They're going to make this their last push, I'd imagine, before they make a reset.
Oh, House tries to go for it, but gets CC'd on the way. Damage with an incredible read on that light binding. With a numbers advantage, you already know Pain are in your base, taking down the last inhibitor and hoping to choke you out of the game. They're not even letting Fluxo play, not even letting him fight fair. Pain do get Weiser caught out, mini Gnar still, but pops the Mega just in time to take down Tay and watch the crocodile melt before his eyes. This is the last push. This is Pain taking down the best team in CBLOL and doing it in style. The shuffle out from Weiser, and the game is over. Fluxo is crushed.
Oh my, that was devastating. Pain Gaming absolutely destroyed